meet the staff, and yeah, I've got a great feeling. So I'm excited to get my first day underway today. I've joined as a player assistant manager, so I'm going to be assisting the gaffer in the training, in the training plans, preparing for games, preparing for the semi-final next week, and all of the other stuff off the pitch. And then I've got the role of joining the players on the pitch as well. So I won't be able to play for a couple of weeks, but I'm really excited, and I'm going to spend the next few weeks training with four to get myself fit and ready.
What do you think of Icelandic football from what you've seen so far?
Really good. It's been really impressive. There's a lot of goals being scored. So of course my job is at the other end to stop these goals going in. But one thing I do like from the games I've seen is that the attacking ability, the flair on the pitch, especially the way we play football, has been really attractive and really impressive. So I'm hoping to come in and join a great team that's in a really good patch at the moment. We've got a lot of momentum, and I hope to build on that.
Do you have any small message to the fans before you step onto the pitch here in Garðabær?
Yeah, I was here for the game with KR, and I saw the support, and I even had my name sung by a couple of people. So I think we're already building a relationship, and I'm really excited to build on that and to have a lot of success this season. So let's go.
Good afternoon, listeners, and welcome to the Sierra Leone Football.net sports show this afternoon. With us here this afternoon, it's no less a person but a legend in the game, somebody who've actually been playing for quite a very long time and inspiring lives across the globe. In the studio, it's a very, very big guest. I don't want to introduce him. I'll just go over to him and say, let me see. Let me just see what I can do here. So, good afternoon and welcome, my brother.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good. It's good having you here. Over to you. Over to you, Ali. Good afternoon and welcome as well.
Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, Steven. Thanks for coming. Thanks for your time.
Good afternoon. More than welcome. Good to see you.
Once more, listeners, this is football.net coming to you this afternoon. I'm Desmond Payne. I'll be here with Steve and Ali. We'll be diving deep into life as a footballer and life after football. But Steve, it's been a pleasure having you in our show this afternoon. It's been a while. We've been trying to get you, and we're happy getting you here. Take us through who Steve is.
Who am I? Well, I'm a father. I've got a 14-year-old son. I'm a player / coach. I'm stepping away from playing now. This will most probably be my last season, and I'm stepping into coaching. So I've been working here in Iceland as assistant manager for the past 2.5 months, which I love. I've got such a passion for coaching. So I'm really excited for my next steps. But I would say, I'm, as I said, a family man, a football player, a coach, and also I do a little bit of work on the TV. So I do quite a lot, keep myself busy, but I enjoy it. So I'm happy to be on the show today to share a little bit of insight on life here in Iceland.
Okay. Thank you for this brief introduction of yourself. And for us, it's also a pleasure of having you here. Ali, we have the big catch in the studio today. What are you going to say?
Oh, I'm excited. I just want to know exactly how Steven come make the decision. Finally, I would call this life after international football. Now is in Iceland. How you come to the decision to become, you want to be a coach, and what's the process you've gone so far, the stages of becoming a top coach. If you can take us through the process, that would be great.
Yeah, so it started 2.5 years ago. I did my UEFA B license in the UK. So that took around 6 to 9 months to do that course. After that, I went to Spain. As you can see in the picture there, I went to Spain as head coach. I felt I was ready to be a coach then, to be honest. I wanted to stop playing and start my coaching journey. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to stay in Spain because I wasn't granted a work visa. So that took me back to playing, because I know that in Turkey, I'm always there's always an option for me there to go and play. And I took that option, went back there to play for a little bit, whilst I was doing my A license. So I did my A license mostly online, but I had to fly back to the UK every couple of months to complete the practical side of it, and that took around 12 months. So once I completed the B and the A, I then felt that I was ready to go out and be a coach again. So the opportunity came in Iceland for me to come here, work with a great manager. He's extremely clever. He's gone to university and got all kinds of degrees. He's also an ex-player, so I felt he's someone that I can really learn from, and I think that's an important step, you know, for me as a young coach, is to learn from somebody, because, you know, there was other opportunities, let's say, to go to other places, but I didn't feel that I would have learned as much. And for me, I've seen a lot of ex-players step into coaching too early and, you know, sort of fall short. So I want to make sure that I'm prepared. I get all the necessary qualifications, I get all the necessary experience that I'm getting here in Iceland, and then maybe in 6 months, 12 months, 3 years, 4 years, who knows how long, I will then be ready to take the step back towards my next step, back towards the Premier League.
Okay, Steve, thank you very much for this nice take on your journey of becoming a coach, and how it all started, where you are now today, and how you want to continue in the future. For you guys just joining us, we're here with Steven Caulker, an exclusive interview this afternoon on football.net. Stevie will be taking us through across his journey as a player and as a coach, and what is next for him. Stephen, as you were talking, you talk about doing your courses online. You know, over time, we've seen people not really putting importance of courses that people are taking online. Can you please tell us a little bit of how it was for you taking this online and at the same time going back to do the practical?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I would have preferred to do it in person. If I had a choice, I would have preferred to have been there, you know, but that wasn't an option for me. So you kind of have to deal with whatever cards you were dealt at the time. And for me, doing it online was a good option with technology nowadays, like we're doing now. You know, I'm in Iceland, you guys all around the world. It's so good that we can connect, you know, instantly. So doing online, as I said, wasn't my first choice, but it worked out well, because it meant that I was able to do it whilst playing. And for me, I took just as much information as I would have if I was there in person. So I'm always there with a pen and paper, making sure I take my notes. And, you know, for me, I feel that as a player, I made a lot of mistakes. You know, I have a lot of regrets. And as a coach, I don't want to leave any regrets. So as I said, I learn from everybody that I can. I'm always there with my notepad. I'm trying to soak up as much information. So I think if you put the effort in, it doesn't matter if it's online or practical. And I know that a lot of people back home in Sierra Leone were asking me about doing their qualifications and whether they can do online. And of course, it is an option. You just have to be patient, because there's such a waiting list. I don't know if you guys are aware of how big the actual waiting list is to get on these courses for the UEFA A, UEFA B, UEFA Pro. It's a saturated market, so it is really tough.
Okay, thank you very much. But again, before we go forward, look, there's a picture before you. Can you please take us through where it all started before you go to putting on this color?
Yeah, so this was my England debut. That was me scoring, which was an incredibly proud moment. Of course, I was young then. I think I was 20 at the time. Yeah, a special moment. You know, Steven Gerrard is taking the free kick, and there I am on the other end of it. So yeah, special moment, great memory. And you know, at that time I was playing Premier League, and I wasn't even thinking about coaching. Everything was about playing, and everything was exciting at the time. So that's a really nice memory.
Okay, thank you very much. Ali, you've heard what Steven had to say. From what you've listened, what is your take so far?
Well, everything has been straightforward, really. Just something caught my attention. Steven, you've got your process to do your badges. You've done your B, you've done your A. How long you get to the big stage, the pro license?
So I have to wait 1 year now. I have to complete my A license before I can start the pro, and that will probably be around next summer, because I completed my A license in either May or June. So next summer I will look to start my pro license. But at the moment, to be honest, I'm enjoying having a break from the studying and just being on the field, because of course the studying is important, but also just being on pitch, actually getting sessions in, getting the experience in. You know, that's what I love here, that I've been given the freedom to take the sessions, you know, like three days of the week. I'm coaching the boys on the grass, and then the other 3 days of the week, I have a different color blue on, light blue, and I'm training with the boys. So it's an interesting role. You know, sometimes it's difficult to find the balance, but overall, I would say it's been going quite well.
From what you just said, I saw recently you said you're looking for extras, things to do within the community you find yourself. What actually lead you to be thinking that way? Because if you look, your hand is already full, but you still want to give more to community. Why?
No, because for me, I love having a purpose. I love being busy. It's a great feeling for me working hard. I feel good afterwards, and it helps build my self-worth and everything else. But also, you know, it's a strange season here for me, because the season ends in 5 games, and that will be around October the 25th, something around that date. And then after that, the season doesn't start again until April. So I've never experienced that kind of season where you're not playing for November, December, January, February, March. I've never experienced that. So I'm going to have a lot of downtime where we will still be training, but we will not be in competitive matches. So that's kind of why I'm looking for other stuff alongside this to fulfill it. And one of my favorite things to fulfill it is like purposeful things. So I'm actually working to try and build a soccer school in Sierra Leone, trying to create some showcase matches, working really hard alongside Morlai and Maddie, who you guys may know from the national team, to create some opportunities for the guys in Sierra Leone as well. As for me, it's very purposeful, and it's a good feeling to be able to give others the opportunity.
Steven, you've definitely have a lengthy career. You've played various clubs in England, Turkey, and Iceland. Can you just take us through your experience now playing as a player and as a coach, the excitement of being a coach and the challenges of being a player at the same time?
Yeah, it's difficult. I'll tell you, the biggest challenge is when you tell a player what to do and how to do it, and then I have to put my boots on and go and do it. And if I don't do it well, then he's looking back at me and saying, hold up, how are you telling me what to do if you can't do it yourself? So I'm under pressure. There's no doubt about it, under pressure. Normally, that's why coaches wait until they retire to start, because then when you're telling someone what to do, they can't judge you for not doing it, you know? So it's a difficult role. But to be honest with you, I'm fortunate to be in such a good environment here in Iceland, you know, that the people are really good. It's a really relaxed, nice atmosphere. So they don't stress me about certain things. They know that I'm human. And also the way in which I talk to them as a human being. So, and I want to maintain that as a coach for the next 20, 30, 40 years, however long I coach for, that always talk to the player as a person first, you know, as a human being, and have that respect. I think that's important, especially in today's world. You know, it's different to how it was 15, 20 years ago, where the managers were coming in and throwing things around the changing room. Now it's completely different in how players are spoken to. So I'm always very mindful of that.
Yes, this is where I want to come in, Steve. Just like what you said, the era we find ourselves today, technology has taken everything, and the concentration, it's very, very tough to get the best out of players these days. How are you managing with these young guys, this Gen Z? How are you managing around them?
So I'm having to adapt, to be honest with you. I'm having to adapt, and that's why it's really useful to have such a good team here. So I've got the manager, who you can see pictured there, and then I've also got an analysis coach alongside us, and also a strength and conditioning coach alongside us. So we're a team of 4, and it really helps because the analysis guy, for example, he's able to show us all the latest technology. Every training session is filmed, every match is filmed, and we're able to break down all the different bits of analysis in great detail. So that keeps us up to date with all of the guys with the technology. And I'll be honest, I'm having to learn from him. He's only 22. I'm really having to learn that tech side, because that wasn't my strength. You know, my strength is dealing with people face to face. But now I'm having to adapt, because, as I said, and as you said, you know, coaching football nowadays is so much technology. You see how much data is released every single day after every single game. It's stats. So it's important to stay with the times.
But what about the science part of the game as well? Because we see this digital analysis coming in, coaches pitch side monitors. You're going to look at everything that revolves around the body these days, what players eat, their calories. You need to track their runs before the season starts, the season ends. They're all going holiday. They're coming back. This air of anti-doping, what you eat and how you look over yourself. How is this really going? Looking at your days of playing and with these young lads you have around you now, how are you taking them along this journey?
To be honest with you, I think we've actually gone a bit too far with it. If I'm honest, I think like we've gone a bit too far with the level of detail in the data. Of course, it's important. Of course, you know, how players are sleeping, how players are training, how much they're running, how quickly they're recovering. Of course, a lot of this data is useful, and some of it for me is important, but it's not the most important. For me, the most important thing is how you treat the players. How does the player feel? Because I've seen and worked with some unbelievable, incredible athletes that are unable to perform because they're not feeling good. You know, I never forget playing against Fernando Torres when he was at Liverpool, and what an exceptional player he was. And then I played against him when he was at Chelsea, where he wasn't feeling so good. He was having a difficult time. Confidence was low, and he wasn't even making the same runs. He was a completely different player. Now, you can look at the data, you can look at the stats, but for me, that centers from the mind. You know, that comes from the mind. So I think for me, the mind will always be the most important part of any player's performance. But of course, the other attributes help that. If you're training well, eating well, of course, you're going to feel good. And if you feel good, you're most likely to play good.
Steven, you talk about data and analysis of players, and we have two Sierra Leonean players with you in Iceland. How are they faring?
Well, firstly, we don't actually have IB with us yet. He's currently in Ghana, making his way to us. It's been a really long, dragged out process with the visa. It's been very, very difficult, and it's been difficult for him, but he's been extremely patient. He's in Ghana right now, just waiting for the final stamp, and then he'll be joining us hopefully this week, actually. So that'd be great to have him with us, as it's been long awaited. And Alpha, he's been with us now. I'm not sure actually, but 6-7 weeks he's been with us. So you know, he came from Azerbaijan. We're in the middle of our season, so we've had to work with him to get him up to speed, to build his fitness, which we've been doing, and also give him a tactical understanding of how we want to play. So he's been doing well. He's fit in really nicely, and you know, we hope to see more of him now on the pitch over the next coming weeks.
How will you compare the Icelandic league compared to other leagues you've played before? Obviously, we know the English league is one of the best league in the world. Now you move to Turkey. Now you are in Iceland. How do you compare? Because now you are a coach. One day you're going to be dealing with this. Who knows where you're going to end up? You might end up back in Turkey. You might end up back in England. You might stay in Iceland. How do you compare these leagues in terms of quality?
Yeah, I would say they're all very different. So I've been fortunate to have played England, Scotland, Turkey, Spain for a little bit there as a player coach as well. So, and now in Iceland, as you say. So I feel like I've got quite a lot of experience in playing football in different places, in different cultures, different environments. I would say that the Icelandic league is much better than what I thought it was going to be. I didn't anticipate it to be as quick as what it is. I think that it's a really fast-paced game here. It's a physical game here, and there's also, for me, the most surprising thing in a really nice way is the technical side of it. We've got a lot of really good technical players here, so I think the games are entertaining to watch. If any of you have seen our league table, it's so close. The teams are so tightly put together. There's action at the bottom, there's action in the middle, and there's action at the top. So I find that it's a really interesting league for people to watch. I've got a lot of fans now in the UK and in Sierra Leone who are now following the Icelandic league, and that's the feedback they all give me. Wow, every game is competitive. Every game is a tough game. So I think it's a good standard, and I think it's a really good, for example, using IB as an example, I think it's a really good stepping stone for him to come here. Coming straight from Sierra Leone, this is a good opportunity for him to come here to start to adapt towards European football, and then hopefully, if all goes well, progress onto the next stage.
Steve, just take a look at this one. This could have been a very good opportunity for you, and I believe it's something you were looking forward to, but it did not actually materialize. How does it? Did it hit you, or you, because of the person you are like, okay, I have another chance, let me just move on?
Yeah, I just look at it and say I have another opportunity. We just move forward. At the time, of course, I was frustrated, but as I've just mentioned, with IB having such a difficulty coming to Iceland with the visa, I had the same difficulty going to Spain. So before it was really easy because I had a British passport, but when we had Brexit, we left the European Union, and then Spain made it a little harder for us to come over. So, like I said, I wasn't granted a work visa there, and I had to return. So it was difficult, but like I said, the opportunity to go back to Turkey was always there, and I took that and I went back to playing. So everything happens for a reason, I believe.
So you are a family man, and you have listened so many times when you talk around the community, what you want to see for young lads. You've been very passionate about family and the young kids, especially when you go around trying to see you live the role model life as a sportsman and them in the community as well. What would you say to kids listening to you, especially for Africa, where the standards are very, very challenging for the kids to understand that this is their pathway in life, and how do they navigate around it?
It's a good question, and I understand it's really, really difficult for a lot of people in across Africa, to get the opportunities, and that's why, as I said earlier, myself, Molai, and Maddie are working hard to give these guys the opportunity, because I believe everyone has or should have an equal right to an opportunity. Whether they take that opportunity relies on them themselves. So what I would say is to best prepare them for these opportunities. The number one word that comes to mind is discipline. I think you have to be really disciplined in all areas of your life. So whether that be with your diet, whether that be with, your friends are out partying, but you're having to make that sacrifice to stay in, to make sure that you're physically, mentally, and emotionally ready for the next training session, the next game, whatever it may be, because football is a really, really small world. So despite the fact that there's millions of people playing and coaching in this sport, it's a really small world. So, we're using IB a lot, but let's use him as an example, right? So before I made the decision to speak to our club about signing him, I called John Kista. How is IB? What do you think about IB? How is he in training? How is his attitude off the pitch? Then I call Babadi. Babadi, what do you think about IB? So I made 4 or 5 phone calls before I even contacted IB to say, hey, would you be interested to come? Because football is a really, really small world. So I think it's really important that you're mindful of that. When you're in an environment that you think, I can let my hair down here, no one knows about me, no one cares. Actually, when the moment comes, if you've been doing the right things all along, then you're going to be better prepared for your opportunity.
What are the challenges for players who are really coming from Africa, where when you've not seen anything beyond your nose, all what you see is how to survive, and then you have a talent, and then with this talent, you see yourself making money, but the money is not yet there. You've not reached your destination yet. How is the challenge for African players?
Yeah, that's a real challenge. I think that a lot of players are poorly advised when it comes to money, and when they're first earning money, what seems like big money at the time is not big money. It's just a stepping stone. So I think that's really important that they are. I feel actually myself as the role of a big brother, if you like, that I feel partly responsible for that, to guide them, to help them, to make sure that they make good decisions with their money. But you asked the question there actually about when they come to Europe, how difficult it is, not just the financial side of it. I think for me it's adapting to the way of life, because it is a very different way of life. And I think the quicker the players can adapt, the better chance they have of being successful in that environment. So I think that one way to do that is through helping each other. So we have a lot of If you take the national team right now, if you take the Leon Stars, I think it's the strongest that it's been for a very long time. We have a lot of players playing in Europe. And I think, if a lot of our senior players help the young players coming behind us, and then they help the next generation, then I think we're going to see Sierra Leone move through the rankings even quicker, because we have a lot of talent. And I think now it's just about helping each other.
Steven, you're talking about talent consistently, and I like the trend you're taking, and you've been consistent. You shared something on Tuesday. It's a group you guys set up. It's called Player, because I'm follow you on LinkedIn. And can you just talk us through on Player? What did you guys do? What are you do? I think, is it a co-owned by former Manchester defender? What's his name? The guy Patrick Evra.
Yeah. So I work with Patrice Evra and a guy called Tommy Fish, and we support players who are, in Africa, support players worldwide actually that are looking for an opportunity to showcase their talent. To begin with, in the first year, we focused on the UK and getting players who are released from academies. So anyone aged between 18 to 21 was coming onto our platform. They were then sharing their videos from games, and then we were then putting them into showcase matches. So they would come and play for Player, in a showcase match against Tottenham, in a showcase match against Salford City, Woking, whoever. We'd have a lot of games across the UK that the players were playing, and then the best players from the matches will then be scouted and offered a contract. So that was the way we tried to do it. I think it's a really good use of technology. We spoke a little bit earlier about technology. This is a good example of using technology for the better, because people may be sat at home in Sierra Leone right now who are not being seen by these scouts. If they use these platforms, then they're able to get the opportunities because they will be seen. So that's the plan. It needs a little bit more work to be able to be stronger globally and across the world. As I said, it originated in the UK, so that's been our focus, but it will eventually be strong enough to help players in Africa, in India, in Asia, in many different places.
Okay, before we bring the next man in the studio in, let me just go quick to our comment section and then look at what our fans are saying here. Good afternoon again. If you're just joining us, this is a football.net talk show coming to you this afternoon, and we're with Steve in the building. Steve is taking us through his coaching pathway, his life as a footballer, life after football. This one says nice. And the other one says, I'm watching from Valencia. This is Yusuf. And this side content says, one of our best. God bless you, Caulker, for all you have done for Sierra Leone. For all you've done for Sierra Leone and the team of football. In terms of football. This other one says, when did he knew he wanted to become a coach? I hope you're taking notes, Steve. This other one says, what managers influence him the most in his career? The other one says, well done, guys. Great program, more grace. Chino Bassi watching from Orléans in France. This other one say, I'm watching from Freetown. That's good. Thank you for watching. The other one say, Mr. Caulker, you will like to coach Sierra Leone one day. Hassan is also watching. Thank you guys for your comment, and keep sharing and liking as well. Steve, before we bring Ibrahim in, these are some of the questions the fans who are following you religiously have asked. What's your take?
Okay, so thank you for the kind words. It was nice. It's always nice to be appreciated, for sure. And one of the questions I remember in there was about who was the best manager that I worked with. So I mean, I've had a few. I'm fortunate. I've had a few. So I've worked with Jurgen Klopp. I've worked with Brendan Rodgers. I've worked with Francesco Farioli, who is now at Porto, who I think is a fantastic coach. And Malky Mackay also at my time in Cardiff. So I've worked with a lot of good managers, and all of them have influenced me in some way. So whether it be tactically, whether it be, the guys that are really good man managers that manage the players really well, or whether it be those that are really good at set pieces, whatever it is. So I try to take a little bit from everybody. Another question was about when I decided I wanted to be a coach. That was around 28, 29. So, 4 or 5 years ago, I started to feel like I wanted to be a coach. When I was younger, I had no desire to be a coach, to be honest with you. It was all about playing, and that was it. I just wanted to play. And then I started to think about TV work. But then once I started to get a taste for the coaching, that was it. It's just my passion. I'm actually 10 times more passionate about coaching than playing. So I'm really excited for however many years I'm going to have as a career in my coaching career. And the final question was about coaching the Leone Stars at some point. So yeah, I would love to. I feel that as a player playing for the Leone Stars, I never achieved what I wanted to achieve, for sure. And that hurts a lot because I put a lot of effort and time into trying to achieve greatness with the national team. But I hope that during my time there, that I still had an influence, a positive influence, hopefully on some of the young players. So one day I would like to return as a coach, but who knows when that day will be, whether it's going to be 10 years from now or 20 years from now. I don't know. So we will see. But it's good to hear all the questions and positive comments.
A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about from these questions you've answered. You talk on something about wanting to give back to young people. You've been engaged in some charity works in Sierra Leone before you put on the green, white, and blue. I'll be coming there. But I want to bring my man in, Ibrahim, who also been following the program keenly. Ibrahim, over to you.
Good evening, good afternoon, Stephen, and good afternoon, viewers. My name is Ibrahim. Nice to meet you guys. Just to take you back to the question regarding some of the places you've played in. I just wanted to touch up on your time in English football, particularly early in your career when you went out on loan to Yeovil Town. And what do you think about the depth of English football, started from like the Premier League going all the way down to even National League now? How much the crowds, the quality of the players, the stadiums, and so on and so forth. How does that compare, like for example, League Two, League One, even the National League, to some of the places, some of the countries you've gone and their lower tiers, if you like? How would you compare the two?
Yeah, so good afternoon, Ibrahim. For me, the strength of the English league is incredible, and that's one of the biggest things that I've taken with me, actually. So in Turkey, everyone knows it's famous for all of its fans, right? But if you look outside of the top four, outside of Trabzonspor, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, and Besiktas, a lot of the teams don't have fans. Maybe Göztepe as well, you'd add in there as well, have a big fan base. But apart from those five, a lot of teams there don't have fans. So if you go down to the championship there, you're playing most weeks in front of 1,000 people, 2,000 people. So if you go down to the championship in England, as a lot of you guys I'm sure know, you've then got 30,000, 40,000 people at the games. If you go to League Two, League Three, sorry, not League Three. If you go down to League One, League Two, and then National League, you will then see that there's still 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people at the game. So I think that's great. Also, one thing over here, we play on artificial grass, for example, because of the weather. Whereas in England, you're always playing on nice, freshly cut green grass at all levels. So I think this makes a big difference. Having full stadiums, having freshly cut green grass to be able to play on. I think that makes the game faster, it makes the game more enjoyable, and it's certainly more enjoyable to play in. So the infrastructure is really good in England. Of course, in smaller countries such as Iceland, it's a little bit harder because, weather permitting, etc. Sierra Leone is the same. If you have green grass in Sierra Leone, it's really hard to maintain. So that's why a lot of the pitches there are artificial. So it's definitely a privilege to have played in England.
Steve, before you put on the green, white, and blue, you already started doing something in Sierra Leone. What was it that you were doing at that moment before you got the opportunity to say you want to change your allegiance to play for Sierra Leone?
So I built a school in 2014, I think it was. So I have a school in the district of Cambia, and there's currently 400 children who go there. And I went to visit once it was built, and just got such a incredible reception. You know, felt such love and warmth from everyone in the village, and it stayed with me ever since. You know, I have made a promise also to do another district, and I want to stick to that. You know, Mano by the Sea is somewhere where I have in my mind and in my heart, where I visited, and I wanted to help boost the school there as well, the school facilities there as well. So for me, it's a blessing to be in a position to be able to support schools, to be able to support people, children, families, whatever it may be. And you know, I know that I'm not alone. There's some great people doing some great work, and I want to give a shout out to the Sick Picking Project, because the work that they're doing is phenomenal, and you have a lot of people there just volunteering and giving up their time for free. So I mentioned that with regards to football. I think if we put our hand out and help each other up, I think that we can move forward, both in the football world and outside of it.
Stephen, can I just ask you on that? How important is your connection to Sierra Leone, to you know, your dad, yourself, and your son? Like, how important is it for you to maintain that connection to Sierra Leone? You know, since you've obviously played for the national team, I think a lot of the supporters have opened up to you and appreciated obviously your service to the national team. What does that do for you? How does it you know, why is that important for you to be connected to Sierra Leone?
Oh, I love it. I mean, it's where my granddad was from. I never, unfortunately, got to ask him too much about it, so I've had to learn it myself. But I love it. I just love the feeling that I have when I'm there, when I'm visiting. As I said, I've been greeted with such warmth and love. It's a little bit more difficult now, let's say, if I visit, because when I visited before, I wasn't famous. Actually, it was nice because people didn't recognize. And then obviously, since playing for the national team, it's a little bit different when I go there. But it's still nice, and it's, as I said, it's nice. It's a nice reminder for me of, you know, where my granddad came from, and as I said, like, for me, a big part of my my purpose is to support other people, and if I'm going to support them anyway, I want to support them in Sierra Leone. So, like I said, I currently have a couple of projects coming along quite nicely, where we're going to have showcase matches, and we're going to host them in 4 different districts around Sierra Leone. We're going to have scouts coming over from, you know, all across the world, and it's going to be a really good opportunity for young players. We're going to start as young as 13 and go all the way up to 21. So it's going to be a really good opportunity for these young players to showcase themselves and hopefully get the opportunity to go and play abroad and earn some money and have a good career.
Stephen, if before Ali comes in, if there is one thing that you look at or say that is actually holding the progress of football across Africa, looking at your time you've played across Africa, and what would be that?
What's the thing stopping us from moving forward?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? We need to get out of our own way. That's how I would describe it. We need to get out of our own way, because I just feel that, you know, just talking about Sierra Leone, because that's the only place I can talk about. I don't know what the other countries are doing, but I know that in Sierra Leone we have so much talent, and it's really upsetting when we are not putting the best players forward, you know, and the best players are not getting the opportunity. So it's good. It seems to be in a better place right now. Obviously, I stepped down recently, so I don't know exactly the ins and outs of what's going on, but it seems, you know, results have been good. So Mohamed Kalon is come in and started really well. So I hope that we continue to move forward. He's, for me, the biggest name in Sierra Leone football. He's a legend, and he's got the experience of playing in Europe. So I hope that he's able to guide a lot of these young players to success, and we can have many more stories like Juma Bar, because for me, this Juma Bar is an exceptional talent, but he's not the only one. There's other really, really good talents in Sierra Leone as well. So he has created the pathway. He's made the pathway. He's forced his way into Europe. He's gone in with a huge bang. And now I believe it's time for others to follow. So he's created it. He's done the hard work, and now I would love to see others follow and be a success.
Yes, Steven, we're talking about your charity work, your generosity. You've done great things in Sierra Leone. I don't want to be nosy, but the figure that this generosity cost you, people may want to know. Steven, I've gone to Sierra Leone, it can be built this, do this for Sierra Leone people, helping children. We'd like to know how you put this all together.
So the first project I did when I was young, which was the school in Cambia, I fundraised a little bit. So for example, I did like a fundraising raffle, and I was playing with Gareth Bale the year before at Tottenham. So I reached out to him to get like a signed Real Madrid shirt and put that in the auction, and people brought tickets and stuff like that for the raffle. So I raised about, I don't know, 30 or 40,000 pounds by doing stuff like that, and then the rest of it I put my own money in. So yeah, it was just a choice that I made, and for example, with the sick picking project, the money that I earned from the national team I put back into the country. So yeah, that was kind of how I was in a fortunate position to be able to do so.
Quick one, if you look at the screen, somebody said nice talking to him about Sierra Leone. I think he has a good heart for Sierra Leone. A lot of love coming here for you, Steve. I think you're going to be making us blush this afternoon. This other one says, does he have any intention to coach the national team? I think Steve had answered that question long ago. This other one says, Caulker, you are a great man trying to help Sierra Leone football. That's what Sierra Leone football need. Oh my goodness. I wish I could be Caulker now.
Steven, let me take you back. I know we're going to be chatting for quite some time today. Let me just take you back from loan to Southampton. You find yourself in Liverpool. When you received that call as a player trying to sign for Liverpool is one of the biggest names in English football. How that feel at the time?
It was incredible. I didn't even believe it was happening, because I don't know, I didn't actually feel like I deserved it at the time, because I was at Southampton and it wasn't going so well. I was behind Virgil van Dijk and Jose Fonte at the time. They were playing for Southampton. They were doing really well. So I wasn't getting much game time at Southampton. And then out of nowhere, the opportunity to go to Liverpool came around. So it was a strange feeling, like I said, because I didn't even feel like I deserved it in some ways. It was strange, but it was an opportunity, of course, I wasn't going to turn down. And, I loved it and went there and had some incredible experiences, coming on as a number 9, playing in front of the Cop End at Liverpool, at Anfield. It was just, unbelievable. So yeah, it was a surprise move, but one that I'm proud to say I've wore the Liverpool shirt, and had those great experiences playing against Arsenal, and we got a late equalizer and stuff like that.
Playing football in England, which one of the clubs you will say you have your best moment? Because you played for quite big names, including QPR, Southampton. So which one of them you will look at them and say, this is my highlight moment?
For me, 2. One of them being Swansea, because that was my first year in the Premier League. So I just loved it. It was a great year. We had a lot of success. We beat Man City that year. We beat Liverpool that year. We beat Arsenal that year. So I got to play against Thierry Henry, who was like my idol growing up. So that was an incredibly proud year, of course, my first ever year in the Premier League. And then my second year, which was at Tottenham, and that was the year I made my England debut. I played in the Olympics as well for Great Britain, and played Europa League. So much happened that year. So I'd say those were my favorite 2 years looking back.
For you guys just joining us, you are listening to Football.net talk show coming your way this afternoon, and we have Steven Caulker here taking us through his life as a footballer and now as a manager and also life after football. Steve, many a times it's a challenge for players to actually engage the media. And doing this on my side, I believe sometimes it hinders the younger ones, the progress of understanding the journey that some of you guys have gone through. So, what is actually holding some of you guys who've played the game to the pyramid there, actually not being out there advocating or even engaging the young ones for them to understand that this is the journey and this is the path where they need to find themselves?
Yeah. So I think with the media, it's tough because, you know, when you burst onto the scene or you go into the Premier League, the media are out to get you. To be honest with you, they're not so much out to promote you; they're out to tear you down. Or that's certainly how it feels from the inside. So I think we see a lot with young players when they do make that step and they don't quite realize actually how many eyes are on you. You know, it's really important. And one thing that I always say to players is to be mindful of who you represent. So if you play for my team here in Iceland called Stjarnan, if you are, Iceland's a really small place. So if you are out in town, people know that you're a player of Stjarnan. So you are representing the club as well as representing yourself. And on top of that, these players are international players. You're representing your nation. So I think it's important to have that in mind sometimes when you're young, it's not always easy because you're out with your friends, you want to have fun. But I think it's important to be mindful that I made this mistake a lot myself, to be honest. It's important to be mindful that people are out there and there's a lot of sharks there. So just to be careful with that.
I don't know if Ibrahim want to ask you a question, but before Ibrahim comes in, let me just drop this one quick. In the area of management, during your days as a player, do you have any team around you that manage you as a person, that looks around everything you're doing?
Yeah, I was fortunate because I had my family and close friends to help. But inside football, no, agents, some agents are better than others for sure. Some agents take care of everything. They make sure that the player is settling in well. They make sure they have a house, a car, they're taking care of them. But other agents are very different. They get you the deal, you sign the deal, and you don't hear from them again for another 12, 18, 24 months. Until it's time to sign a new deal or go to a new club. So it just depends what agent you have. For me, the agent I had when I was young, he was more someone who was good at getting deals, but wasn't taking care of me necessarily. And then in my later years, I had a friend come on board as an agent, and he supported me a lot more with the personal side of things. So it just depends. But I would always recommend having an agent that helps support you, because I think it's important. As a footballer, you're going to have a lot of lows in your career. It's not just highs. So you need someone there when things aren't going so well.
Ibrahim, over to you.
Yeah, so I just want to ask, obviously there's been some moments where things unfortunately have not necessarily gone the way you would like it to obviously go in your career. But like, what was it that helped you bounce back from that to be able to get back on the horse, if you like, and continue to play and now go into coaching?
Yeah, well, I've had a lot of those moments, to be honest with you. A lot of moments where I feel like I've hit rock bottom, or things, like you said, haven't gone my way, and it's easy in their moments to wallow in self-pity, and I want to at times. One of the hardest moments for me actually was with the national team and stepping down as captain, because, as I said, I really wanted to achieve something there, and I realized that I couldn't, and I needed to step down. And that was a tough moment, because when you put so much into something that isn't classed as successful, it hurts, right? It should hurt. If it means something, I believe it should hurt. So I've had a lot of those moments, not just in football, also out of football. But the biggest thing for me is that, okay, it sounds a bit cliche, but it's kind of like, it's not over until you quit, So for me, it's like, unless I stop my life today, then it's over. But if I choose to continue, then there's many other ways that you can come back and be successful. So whether that be as a coach, whether that be by changing clubs, whether that be by helping others, seeing other people be successful, whatever it is, I think there's more than one way to achieve success. So I always keep that in my mind and say, okay, that door's been closed, but there's a lot of other doors open, and it might not look exactly how I pictured it. I still think there's many ways to be successful.
Okay, no worries. Sorry, yeah, go on, Ali.
Okay, Stevie, let me just take you back to Turkey with the Fenerbahce deal. That deal was not the way you wanted it. Can you just give us an insight of what exactly went wrong?
Yeah, so Vitor Pereira was appointed manager 2 days after I signed. So he was not the man that I was told was going to get the job, but something happened in the back room, and he ended up getting the job. And he didn't want me and 5-6 other players, so we were sort of just stood there. I just made the decision to sign for them instead of Besiktas and Trabzonspor and whoever else I had offers from. So that was a real big blow, because I was, I'd sort of overcome a lot of adversity in my career, and I was back to my best. Actually, I was playing really good football. I'd been in Team of the Year twice in a row in Turkey. And that was my big moment that I'd worked hard for. So that was a difficult one to take. But as I said, that's part of the game. It's a game full of opinions. And I always remind a lot of the young players that I'm working with, is just because one manager says no to you, that doesn't mean anything, because there's a lot of managers out there with different opinions. We see it every week. We see it on the television, people with different opinions. If you ask all four of us here who's the best player in the world, I'm sure we'll all have different opinions. We will debate. So it's just being mindful of that's just one coach who didn't like my playing style, and there's others that do.
Okay, quick one before we go forward. And Steve, I know you don't have much time. I will probably be coming down where you might be thinking of leaving a message for the younger ones who are watching you. But let me just go quick to the text box here. And Mohamed, your question has been answered by Steven earlier on. Steven had planned to invest in Sierra Leone, and he's presently doing it. He's teaming up with people, according to what you had. Those people will be coming down very soon. You see activities around Sierra Leone up and running. And then the other one says here, hearing him express his love for the land that we love is beautiful. I hope he can also share his experience, and the stakeholders of the nation team can also listen to him for the betterment of Sierra Leone. So far, this is the question. Somebody is asking here, say, can he talk about his days of playing for Sierra Leone? However, this conversation today was not tailored to that. This was tailored around his playing days, his coaching career, and what is he looking for going forward. So, Steve, as time is not much on our side, we had a time limit that you gave us for what you are supposed to be here with us. What would be your final advice to young players across the globe? When I mean across the globe, even in England, we have players struggling there. But in Africa, the level compared to England is something you cannot measure. What would be your message to them, as a lot of them are listening here with us this afternoon?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, for me, an important factor for anyone who's hoping to be a professional football player is going to be discipline. So being disciplined, as I said, on and off the pitch, listening to coaches' instructions, behaving off the pitch, making sure that you're preparing your body right and your mind right, ready for the next game. That's important. And for me, the other words I would say is like that I did touch on again, is that every coach has a different opinion. So don't be put off by setbacks, because you can go and see 10, 15, 20 coaches who say you're not for me, and you find that one that you are for. So that would be when the door opens. So for me, I think it's important that you're consistent day in, day out, taking care of yourself, preparing yourself right. And when the opportunity comes, you'll be best prepared to take it. So I would just like to give that message of hope. And of course, as I've touched on already, with the help of Molai, the help of Maddie, we're going to help to bring opportunities to the young guys in Sierra Leone, and hope that some of these boys can take it and go on to have successful careers.
Steven, there's a very important question. I know maybe time is not on our side, but yes, a colleague is asking, can you share your experience playing for Sierra Leone. And the second one was, did you decide to retire because you felt it was right time to conclude your international career, or was it due to the challenges?
No, well, I'll start with the second question. So I retired from the national team because I felt that I couldn't take the team any further. I had given a lot in the 3 years that I was there, and we continuously fell short. So I felt that I needed to step away to give somebody else the opportunity to lead. I think that we have a lot of young talent coming through, and I think it's important that these young players are given the opportunity to shine. You know, a lot of the boys in the national team who have been there for a long time have had their opportunity. I think it's important for the young players now to have their opportunity, and I can support them from afar, which I'm doing, and you know, by giving them opportunities to come to Europe, by being on the phone if there's any issues going on, etc., to support them. So that was my decision to step away. I felt the changes needed to be made, and you know, I made that decision. And the other part, you know, just to describe my experiences playing for the national team was one that I look back on with pride, because it was amazing, especially the first trip. It just grabbed me. I didn't know what to expect, but I just loved it. I loved being a part of the team. I loved being a part of the squad, and it just felt special. So I look back on my time with the national team with pride. I wish that things were different, but I believe that it had to be this way. You know, a lot of people who know me personally know that I speak up, and I speak up a lot about injustices, and when there's a lack of organization, I mention that. And I think that needed to be improved. So I believe that the necessary changes are being made, from what I understand, and I look forward to seeing the rewards off the back of it, because I think that now, as I said, with the squad that we've got available, with the right organization, with the right people in place, I believe that the national team will be a big success. So I look forward to watching it.
Ibrahim, what would be your final question to Steve?
Steve, before you go, we have a lot of players, obviously born abroad. Some guys, obviously, we have a big diaspora population in England, in the Netherlands, and elsewhere else in Europe. What would be your advice to them when it comes to maybe, for example, obviously playing for Sierra Leone, or how they decide who to represent nationally?
Well, I often, you know, France is often in the media, as everybody knows, where they say the French national team it looks like the African national team, when, you know, they've got so many obviously players born, you know, around Africa, and or relatives from around Africa, and I'm not going to get into that debate, but one thing I will say is that I love the fact that there are so many talented players with African heritage. I think if those players will come and play for their nations, and especially those from Sierra Leone, I think if they choose to come and play for Sierra Leone, it will mean so much more. It will mean so much more, because I've seen firsthand what it means to the people of Sierra Leone to have players come and commit and make sacrifices, because you need to make sacrifices. Let's get that straight. It's not the same comfort and leisure that you have playing for a European nation. You know, that's for sure. It's very different, and it can be at times quite challenging. So I think the players need to be prepared for that. But I would say it's certainly more rewarding. It fulfills the heart. So I would love to see, not just in Sierra Leone, I would love to see a lot of players with African heritage go and play in Africa, because I think it will strengthen the football, and it will strengthen the continent.
Thank you, mate.
Okay. Stephen, one important thing, I follow you. Again, you were proud after your A badge. You posted something on LinkedIn which caught my attention again. I'm really proud to announce that I have obtained my UEFA coaching license. I've been a grade 12 months with a great group of people, and now you're excited to begin your coaching journey, and you want to pass on your experience. Are you enjoying this new Steven Caulker?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. As I said, I actually enjoy it more than playing. I feel that it's my passion, it's my calling. So I'm looking forward to what's ahead. You know, I am still in my coaching clothes right now, as we work most of the day. It's a little different from the football hours. You know, when you're playing, it's like 2-3 hours a day, but as a coach, you're working 7-8 hours a day. But as I said, I love it. I'm passionate about it, and I'm excited to see where this journey takes me. So this time round, I don't want to leave or finish my career with any regrets. I want to make sure that when I finish and I step away from coaching, that I've given everything I can to be the best I can possibly be.
Steve, it's been a pleasure having you here. It's time that you take your leave, but before you go, this one I want for talk and Creole. We want to tell you thank you. You think I'm calling cassava leaf that you are laughing? No, I talk Creole to you.
I don't know.
No, a good way we get you that we show this afternoon, because a lot of Sierra Leoneans, and since you dropped the letter of resignation, then be on the look say waiting they happen when Steve go talk to we. Who's how we will get time for talk to we. But for we, it's a pleasure where we get you now. We showed today. You really don't can let the cat out of the bag. We not even know self say you get planned for set up academy, you get planned for make games and begin go on with scout, then go come. This is not a big news and a breaking news. We want to tell you thank you. And please, 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 I say this because not to everybody will come na salon. I hope you're understanding.
I understand everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to everybody will come na salon for join we. Go understand the struggle the way we go through, we make we be who that we be. But where you come, you said don't put that close the way we get in we. And today you don't see the need for help we back. We want to tell you thank you. Because it's not easy to forget to. But before you go, the people that want to hear you say thank you to them in Creole.
In Creole, I can understand Creole. I can't speak it.
Yeah, you have to try.
I just speak. I could just say the basics. You know,
Okay.
out the body fine.
Very good.
Thank you. You know.
So finally, before you go,
yeah.
on a lighter note, what's your favorite dish for Sierra Leone?
My favorite dish. I love cassava leaf.
Okay.
I love it. So
thank you very much, guys. This way I will bring the country this afternoon.
We will definitely get you after the pro badge.
Yeah, sure. It's my pleasure. It's good to speak to you guys and to connect. So yeah, anytime.
Please, Steve, before you go, if there is any other player within the Sierra Leone hierarchy that you think we should bring in on this program, who would that be for you?
Curtis Davis.
Curtis Davis. So we have a bet. You will lead us to get Curtis Davis here.
No problem. I'll drop him.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, Steven, for coming. I appreciate this so much. I know the way we've built the show today, you say I'm just listening. I wanted to take over the show, but these guys are not allowing me. But I let everybody have their bites. Steven is here. I will get back to you, and hopefully when the pro badge is at hand, we will talk again.
Yeah, perfect. All right, guys. All right. Thanks for your time. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Mate.
Yeah.
Bye.
Guys, it's been a very, very, very lovely conversation. So we wrap up by us giving our take of everything we've had this afternoon.
It's good. It's good. There's a lot. We can really play our head around, but the good thing is we all still remain passionate about Sierra Leone. So the reason for today, I said to Steven, look, I really need to get you because I just want you to talk to Sierra Leone people. They understand your life of playing football and coaching. And before Steven actually don't want to mention anything about Leonsters, but I'm happy, he get that done by himself without any questions. He would just, because it's a natural passion. He loves playing for Sierra Leone, and he felt he can't give any more, and he decided to step down and let other people have the chance to see how they can take the team further. Not many people can do that, but he's one of those people. He told me, if I cannot do anything anymore, it's better I step down. And I'm going to step down. I'm going to focus on my coaching career. And I always want to be a coach. And my eyes is on Sierra Leone. He said that comfortably and clearly. And today he's repeated that again. So he's still a passionate person, but I would have loved to build a big coaching team around Leonsters where, we get 2 icons already, about 3 icons already in Leonsters. So having Steven on board will be another perfect match. But obviously, it's not the way things are, the way you plan things, the way you perceive things. But the good thing is, we are all passionate about progress. We want to see Sierra Leone go further. And so far, like Steven said, he's following the technical team. They're doing a great job at the minute. So, and he's happy for that. And hopefully one day we will see Steven back sometime.
Ibrahim, over to you for the conversation you've had. I know you've also been following behind the scene. And then thank you for the brilliant questions you asked. It's like we were rolling together. You sent me a message about a question. I did not even check, and then I was asking that question.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so to be honest, again, life, something very simple. I think posting where serious about something you dey see am by actions. So I know say to be honest, I was very upset maybe or disappointed that obviously he resigned. I still think he can offer a lot to the national team by playing anyways. I think his experience, he's still a very good player. And obviously him being in and around the team, I think would have been very influential. Obviously, I understand why he did it, but I think more importantly, you can see that his love for Sierra Leone and his commitment to Sierra Leone did not waver, or it didn't diminish when he retired from the national team. Obviously, he's still, doing things to help the country, to help football grow, to help education grow in the country. So I think obviously kudos to him for that. And to be very honest, I have a lot of respect and admiration for guys who are maybe not used to the struggle that we have in Sierra Leone, and it's maybe they're born in a different country with maybe a bit more facilities and a bit more opportunities available to them. But yet, obviously, they still commit to the hard fight of trying to progress the country, progress the sport. So, obviously, guys like him, Sule Kaikai, Kake, those guys have been there since for quite some time, and they've gone through the struggle, and they're going through the struggle. So, I do commend that, and I think it's he's already showing that, and obviously giving opportunities to guys like Ibi Computer. And I'm sure this won't be the last time, obviously, he assists people in that way. I know, obviously, there's a few more things that they have planned. So, yeah, I'm very, very happy about that. And, yeah, I just want to say thank you to him again.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me just go through quick some of the last comments here before we actually say goodbye to our fans this afternoon. Mohamed Tijan Cole say, love this studio. Thank you, Mohamed. The other one, they come out from Voice of Roquel Online TV. We are in this together. Thank you very much. The other one, they come out for William Bush Bass brother, Koshia Kefala. He say, that we Bush brother, what we get. He say, you want to play for Sierra Leone, you have to be very aware of the challenges. Thank you very much, Koshia. And this other one again from Koshia, he say, you are a very honest person. This is not waiting he say to Caulker. Why is he been there with you? This, of course, Ali asked this question where Koshia sent, sharing your experience. That one Caulker answer. Quick one, let we just bring somebody just to give a high Tom Yasu to we. This other one, he say his experience. He expressed his love for the land that we love is beautiful. I hope he can share his experience and that the stakeholders of the national team can also listen to him for the betterment of Sierra Leone. We've also been on read this one. Well, so far, viewers them we join with today. When say if we just make una way, you also get opportunity for go follow the program after we go end the live. You get opportunity for even drop your comment and share. And we want for telling I thank you as well. And you want to listen to we as Sierra Leonean player. If you dare out here and you get interest for let we all work together and promote the game in we only two way. You can join winner we show you so can send we message, we can make it a time for bring you in where you can share your own expertise, your knowledge and experience about the game, and how can we forge ahead with the development to one for Sina with sport. I want to say thank you to everybody we don't day with me today. una we drop una comment to Ali, we now the editor for SierraLeoneFootball.net for the work we do behind the scene for make sure say we get Caulker. You know, easy. And we work strictly to waiting. Is the plan was that we only talk about waiting he get for do in him coaching career and other things, but there was no need for that. We ask him about salon business, waiting make he left there, waiting make no left there. But as always, the conversation be so nice. Instead, people go around and play around and nicely. So we say we're very, very happy about that. One for telling our thank you. Ali, you say goodbye to fam with them.
Desmond, before we go, we get we clubs then they play the CAF Champions League.
Yeah, sorry. Ali be wonder we throw light on that, but I don't know how far that competition did go right now, whether it scores or not.
No, they've just
Bantel open today. Bantel they play today, then they play now.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, so the game is not yet on.
No, then just
the
kick
game's
off.
supposed to be on.
Okay. Yeah, 4 o'clock. Now 4 o'clock, then they kick off now. I think.
So now one Rob Mott quickly before we go, or what guys?
I think we just have to wait and see. We will come back again for that. Let's see. Hopefully, both Easter Lions they've traveled to Tunisia and Bantel, hosting Afia. Hopefully, they get the results we only anticipate ahead of the second leg games. Then we can do something about that. But as always, we want to keep to time limit. This program, we want to hold on for an hour. Every Saturday, if we got the material to do so, we don't really want to start changing the format of the program. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for your comments. Your time, very precious to all of us. And hopefully, we will get more Sierra Leonean legends to come and talk about their experience, old or new, in this show.
Ibrahim, over to you.
Yeah, good luck to them two teams. Then they obviously now we then they represent. Bantal get very good defensive record. I think in the top 4 na Salon now then concede the least goals in the league. So I want to see how then defense go perform against obviously good opposition like Afia. But yeah, very good conversation, good program today, and thank you to the listeners.
Fambulem, so we bring the curtain down today. One for say thank you to now. Until we meet again, we will be behind the mic. I name Desmond Payne and Inside Football SierraLeone.net. And then this program come to you. Till we meet again, so I will say tata.
Goodbye.